Hello student, I am Sangeeta Mansukhani. This is the video number 63. In this video, I will be explaining chapter number 2, structure of the atom. After studying this chapter, we will be able to know about the discovery of electron, proton and neutron and their characteristics, and describe Thomson, Rutherford, Bohr atomic models, and understand the important features of the quantum mechanical models of atom. Then understand nature of the electromagnetic radiation, Planck quantum theory and photoelectric effect, atomic spectra, de Broglie relation, Heisenberg uncertainty principle, and we will be able to define an atomic orbitals in terms of quantum numbers and state of Bohr principle, Pauli exclusion principle and Hund's rule of maximum multiplicity. And in the last of the chapter, we will be able to electronic configuration of atom. We will be easily right. Okay, so that is means according to the basic concept, this chapter it is very important. So let we start. First is introduction. Introduction, that is means the existence of the atom has been proposed since the time of the early Indian and Greek philosopher 400 BC, who were of the view that atoms are the fundamental building blocks of the matter. First is matter. What is a matter? Matter, that means anything that has mass and occupies space, that is known as matter. Like this is the pencil, okay, and pencil has this is the mass and occupies space on the paper, okay, so it is a matter and fixed mass, fixed volume, shape, so that is means it is a solid way. Okay, so matter is divided into three parts. I already discussed solid, liquid and gas. Okay, so subdivision of the matter, the continued subdivision of the matter would ultimately yield atoms and which would not be further divisible. Okay, so word atom has been derived from the Greek word atomio, and which means uncuttable or non-divisible. Okay, again I say the word atom has been derived from the Greek word atomio and which means uncuttable or non-divisible. Okay, only for starting completely I chapter explain, but after you learning this only for underline line you learn, okay, because other line only for description way. So these earlier ideas were mere speculation and there was no way to test them experimentally. Okay, so these ideas remained dormant for a very long time and were revived again by scientists in the 19th century. Okay, so next, first is explained by, first proposed by atomic theory of the matter by Dalton. Okay, so Dalton atomic theory. First is the here introduction and the next is topic is Dalton atomic theory. So the atomic theory of the matter was first proposed on a firm scientific basis by John Dalton, a British school teacher in 1808, and his theory called Dalton's atomic theory because he explained atomic theory of matter, okay, about atom, and he regarded the atom as the ultimate particle of the matter. Okay, and Dalton atomic theory already explained in the chapter number 1. Okay, so please see the you will be see chapter number 1. So Dalton atomic theory was able to explain and fail. So we have to see explain the law of conservation of mass, law of constant composition, law of multiple proportion very successfully, but it is failed to explain the result of many experiments. Like example, here you see substance like glass or ebonite when rubbed with silk or fur, so get electrically charged. But why? So it failed to explain the result. Okay. Then after, in this unit, we start the experimental observation by scientists, different scientists towards the end of the 19th century and the beginning of the 20th century. Okay, so this chapter starting end of the 19th and beginning of the 20th century between. Okay, and these established that atoms, according to the scientist way, first starting, atoms are made of subatomic particles. Okay, electron, protons and neutrons, and concept very different from that of the Dalton, because initially Dalton given atom as a ultimately particle of the matter and non-divisible. Okay, but after ending the 19th century and beginning of the 20th century, different scientists given, and these established that atoms are made of subatomic particles, electrons, protons, neutrons, a concept very different from that of the Dalton. Next topic is discovery of the subatomic particles. An insight into the structure of the atom was obtained from the experiment on electrical discharge through gases. So before we discussing these results, we need to keep in mind a basic rule. Okay, you learn basic rule. Like charges, that is means similar charges, repel each other, and then unlike charges, that is means dissimilar charges, attract each other. Okay, so dissimilar charges attract each other and like charges repel each other. This is the main basic concept you learn before the studying of the subparticles. Okay, so first I will start discovery of the electron. Okay, so initially, according to the introduction way, discovery of the electron, introduction given by, showed by Michael Faraday. In 1830, Michael Faraday showed that if electricity is passed through a solution of an electrolyte, chemical reaction occurred at electrodes. Okay, and so result in the liberation and deposition of matter at the electrode. Okay, generally you already known about whenever any solution ionized like NaCl, Na plus and Cl minus, but Na convert into the Na plus before the first loss of the electron, then convert into the Na plus, and then Cl gaining of the electron, and then convert into the Cl minus. But these reactions occurred at the electrode, and two types of the electrode we have to use, cathode and anode. Cathode is negative and anode is positive. Okay, so Michael Faraday showed that electricity is passed through a solution of an electrolyte, so chemical reaction occur at the electrodes, and which result in the liberation and deposition of the matter at the electrode. Okay, and then laws we will be studying in the class 12. Okay, then after in mid 1850s, many scientists, mainly Faraday, began to study electrical discharge in partially evacuated tubes known as cathode ray discharge tubes. Okay, see this diagram. This is the cathode ray tube. Okay, this is the cathode ray tube, and this cathode ray tube is made up of the glass containing two thin pieces of the metal called electrode. Okay, one side cathode and second side anode. Okay, so a cathode ray tube is made up of the glass and then containing two thin pieces, here cathode and then here anode. Okay, so both electrodes sealed in it. Okay, both electrodes sealed in it, and then the electrical discharge through the gases could be observed only at low pressure and then high voltage. Okay, here gases discharge low pressure and then high voltage. Then the pressure of different gases could be adjusted by evacuation of the glass tubes. When sufficiently high voltage is applied across the electrode, so current starts flowing through a stream of the particles moving in the tube from the negative electrode to the positive electrode. Okay, cathode to anode. So we have to say cathode ray or cathode ray particle. Clear? Whenever low pressure and then high voltage is applied, so rays started, but start with from the cathode to anode. Okay, cathode is negative way, so we have to say cathode ray, otherwise cathode ray particles negative rays. Okay, and the flow of the current from the cathode to anode checked by the fluorescent substance. When making a hole, here you see this side of the anode, okay, and anode here you see this is the hole form. Here you see this is the anode, and here hole form. Okay, so hole form in the anode and coating the tube behind the anode and material zinc sulfide. Here you see hole made, and then behind fluorescent substance coating material zinc sulfide. And when these rays alter passing through anode, like see, first strike the zinc sulfide, so here bright spot is developed on the coating. Okay, bright spot is developed. Clear? So further checked by rays stream of the particles moving in the tube from the negative electrode to the positive electrode. So checked by making a hole in the anode and then coating the tube behind the anode with fluorescent substance and phosphorescent materials zinc sulfide. And when these rays alter after passing through here anode hole and strike the zinc sulfide coating, so bright spot is developed on the coating. Okay, clear? So these two diagram, first is low pressure and high voltage. So cathode rays passing through cathode to anode, then after checking by the phosphorescent substance zinc sulfide. So two diagrams of this topic. Then result of these experiments. So 5 result. First is cathode rays start from cathode and move towards the anode. Second, these rays themselves are not visible, but their behavior can be observed with the help of the fluorescence and phosphorus substance. Okay, then example is television picture. Okay, television picture tubes are cathode ray tubes, and television picture result due to the fluorescence on the television screen coated with the certain fluorescence or phosphorescent materials. Okay, third is in the absence of the electrical or magnetic field, these rays travel in a straight line. Okay, then fourth, in presence of the electrical or magnetic field. Third is absence, so travel in a straight line, but presence of the electrical or magnetic field, the behavior of the cathode rays are similar to that expected from negatively charged particles. So cathode rays consist of the negatively charged particles called electrons. Okay, because starting from cathode rays, so cathode rays consist of the negatively charged particles, so it is called electrons. Then fifth, the characteristics of the cathode rays, that is means electrons, do not depend upon the materials of the electrode. Do not depend upon the materials of the electrodes and the nature of the gas present in the cathode ray tube. So we can conclude that electrons are the basic constituents of all atoms. Okay, electrons are the basic constituent of all the atoms. Next topic is charge to mass ratio of the electron. So charge and mass. Charge indicate by small e and mass indicate by small m. So in 1897, British physicist J.J. Thomson measured the ratio of the electrical charge E and to the mass electron Me by using cathode ray tube and applying electrical and magnetic field perpendicular to each other as well as to the path of the electrons. So he used cathode ray tube and then Find the ratio between the electrical charge small e and the mass of the electron m by using the cathode ray tube. Okay, and then apply electrical and magnetic field perpendicular to each other. So see the diagram. Here you see. See this diagram. J.J. Thomson use cathode ray tube. This is the cathode ray tube. Okay, here cathode is negative. Okay, here you see attached by cathode electrode negative terminal, and this is the anode. Anode is positive. So positive. Okay, so cathode ray tube use, and here you see two field applied, electrical and magnetic. Electrical field apply, we have to use electrodes. So he used electrodes, upper side cathode and downside anode. So two types of electrode are used, cathode and anode. Cathode blue color, anode orange color, and this is the apply electrical field. And for applying the magnetic field, so he used magnet, and magnet one pole is north and second pole is south. So here you see this side horizontal and vertical way electrical field and magnetic field apply. Okay, then start. Whenever only electrical field is applied, so this is the cathode rays. Okay, so when only electrical field applied, so electron deviate from their path and hit the cathode ray point A. Okay, cathode A, clear? And then similarly when only magnetic field applied, so electron strike at the point, strike the cathode ray tube at the point C. But by carefully balancing the electrical and then magnetic field strength, so it is possible to bring back the electron and to the path which is followed in the absence or electrical field and magnetic field. So they hit the screen B. Okay, at the point B. Clear? So only electrical field applied, so cathode ray strike, electron strike the cathode ray tube at the point A, and then whenever magnetic field apply, so electron strike the cathode ray tube at point C, and by carefully balancing the electrical and magnetic field strength, so it is possible to bring back the electron to the path which is followed in the absence of the electrical and magnetic field, and they hit the screen at the point B. Okay, but Thomson argued that the amount of the deviation of the particles from their path, here you see this is the path of the cathode rays. Okay, so this is the Thomson argued that the amount of the deviation of the particles from their path in the presence of the electrical and magnetic field depends upon the three factors. First factor is the magnitude of the negative charge on the particles greater the magnitude of the charge on the particles depend on the interaction. Okay, interaction with the electrical or magnetic field, so greater the deflection. So simple way concept you learn, negative charge on the particles directly proportional magnitude on the charge, and directly proportional interaction with the electric or magnetic field, and if interaction is greater, so greater is deflection. Okay, so you learn this concept. Then second factor, affect magnetic field depends upon the mass of the particles. So lighter mass, so inversely proportional deflection. That is means mass is low, so deflection is greater. Okay. Third factor, voltage directly proportional deflection of the electron, and deflection of the electron directly proportional strength of the magnetic field. So the strength of the electrical or magnetic field the deflection of the electron from its original path increase with the increase of the voltage. So electron deflection increase, so that is means strength of the magnetic field also increase. So these are three factors on which magnetic fields depend. Okay, then Thomson was able to determine the value of the E charge and M mass. Okay, so find the able, and this is the carrying out by accurate measurements on the amount of the deflection observed by the electrons on the electric field strength. Okay, otherwise magnetic field strength. So it is he was able to determine the value of the E oblique M is equal to 1.758820 into 10 to the power 11 C kg inverse. Here M is the mass of the electron in kg, and then E is the magnitude of the charge on the electron in coulomb. Okay, so electrons are negatively charged and charge on electron is negative. Clear? So charge on the electron after RA Millikan devised a method known as oil drop experiment. Okay, he find the charge on electron by the method oil drop experiment. In which year? 1906 to 14. So to determine the charge on electrons, he found the charge on the electrons to be 1.6 into 10 to the power minus 19 coulomb, and present accepted value of the electrical charge is 1.602176 into 10 to the power minus 19 coulomb. So the mass of the electron was determined the combining these results with the Thomson value. Here you see ME is equal to small e divided by small e oblique ME. So small e charge on electron, present accepted value of the electrical charge 1.602176 into 10 to the power minus 19 coulomb, and E oblique M. Okay, E oblique M E value is 1.758820 into 10 to the 11 C kg inverse. So divide and then mass of the electron find 9.1094 into 10 to the power minus 31 kg. You learn, please learn this value. Okay, so charge on the electron, mass on the electron. Okay, mass of the electron 9.1094 into 10 to the power minus 31 kg. Okay, clear? Next topic I will be explained in the next video. Thank you so much.